The Weekly Warm Pipe.
Hey Jay,
What's up?
I wanna come over and play some NES games. Think that's cool?
I do. I have a lot of games that you probably haven't played before.
Perfect.
Yeah, so come on over.
Come on over. Maybe I can play some Sega Genesis games too.
No, I only have NES games.
Just NES. Fine.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Sorry to down on the Genesis.
So we guys listened to last week's episode. We kind of had this topic ready to go, and it seems like it'd be a fun one. A lot of you guys commented on our social medias that we'll get to, but going over to a friend's house and playing games at their place. 'Cause the main thing is growing up in the 80s, maybe you had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, one of those consoles. Probably didn't have a whole lot of games for the system, right?
Nope.
You either got them for your birthday, maybe Christmas, if you celebrated Christmas, maybe a good report card. Maybe you save some money up for mowing lawns. So
Right.
you purchased one there. So maybe have 3 games a year
Yep. Not many.
other than renting them, hitting up Blockbuster Video,
Well, the mom and
Hollywood
pop
Video,
shop.
mom and pop shop, and getting a NES game just for the weekend. And then who knows, that would have maybe turned into one of the games that you had purchased.
No, I was god awful at picking games to rent.
Like you would always pick one and it would stink.
Yeah, like
Or-
Fester's Quest. Pick that. Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball. Picked that one time. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Hard as crap. I was 11 years old and could not even get past the first 5 seconds of the level.
You're like, oh, I want to return this. So that could be a good weekend.
Just want to yep. It's amazing I even like video games, Russ.
They punish you. But you come back from work.
That's right. But I will say one of my favorite games and a game that I had to have
Mhm.
once I started collecting the Nintendo, there was a game that I used to play at my friend Chris Sullivan's house. Shout out to Chris Sullivan. We would play Life Force.
Nice.
Yep. And I always called the boss at the end of the first stage Mother Brain because I never
Does it
beat
look like a brain, right?
it. Was like, that's gotta be Mother Brain.
It's Mother Brain. It's a crossover.
That's 2 wiggly arms.
You're right. Yeah.
But I don't think we ever made it much further than like level 2 because we weren't that good. But I just remember the music, especially
Okay.
in stage 1, was very memorable. You could use the Konami code on it if you wanted.
Right. I was going to say, did you guys know about the code?
We did, but I don't know if we knew we could use it on that. I know we used it on Contra for sure.
Right.
And the power-ups were great, and the ships were cool. It just looked really neat. I liked how the first stage was like alive, like there was like teeth coming out at you.
Yeah.
And like stuff would grow, and it was Life Force was so rad. It had a cool name.
Right. Cool
When I
cover.
remembered that game, when I was like, oh, what games I used to play back as a kid, like, oh, Life Force, like so sick, love it. Do you
Nice.
like Life Force?
Yeah, I haven't put a ton of time into it, but I remember probably renting it. I did rent a lot of the shooter games
Yeah.
because those are, fairly easy to have fun with for 15, 20 minutes. And then you can go play something you used to, Batman, Super Mario or whatever.
Right.
And you're like, all right, let me come back to this shooter. And because usually with the shooter games, they're good up until you lose all your power-ups if you're in
Right.
a later level. And then
Yep.
it's hard to progress. And then you're like, all right, well, I got to start over. And I've been playing for 20 minutes. If I start over all the way at the beginning now, I don't feel like playing sometimes.
I'm still not great at it. I can only beat it with the Konami code. I mean, it's crazy. I beat Battletoads, but I can't beat Life Force. I'm just not good at shooters.
I'd say they're different styles of games, so
Yeah.
makes sense. Some of the games, let's see, I played. I would definitely. So I had Nintendo growing up. My next door neighbor, Daniel, or we call him Rocker. It was his dad nicknamed him, I think after a motorcycle. It was like the Rocker Box something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Whatever. So I just always call him Rocker. Go over his house. He had Sega Genesis. And I definitely remember playing the X-Men game there.
Oh, yeah. I wanted that game more than life. I was so bummed that game did not come out on the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo got Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge, and it was trash as far as the graphics go compared.
Right. Yeah, they were like smaller sprites, right?
More cartoony. The Genesis stuff looked like right out of the cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked fairly good. We never really got too far in it, but we
The
played it a
game is
lot.
pretty tough. It's not easy.
Right. I do like that you can switch, different X-Men, so we tried a slew of them. What you got? Nightcrawler,
Gambit,
Wolverine,
Wolverine,
Gambit,
Cyclops.
yep, and maybe Storm, I
Yeah, I
think.
was thinking Storm.
But it was overall a pretty fun game. I could definitely remember the cover
Oh
of
yeah.
them all coming out, charging out, or whatever.
It came with a free poster, and I put that poster
That's right.
inside of my Gambit comics that I collected as a kid, and I traded those comics in to Second Charles, and my poster's probably still in there. Whoever has it. If you're in Greenville, South Carolina, and you have a Gambit comic with an X-Men game poster, that was mine. Thank you. Can you have it back, please?
It's like hang it up. Yeah, I mean, in that time, X-Men was huge. I was watching the cartoon. I was collecting the Flair Ultra cards. So you got to get the video game for sure.
I always wanted the little Gambit toy with like the plastic trench coat.
Yeah.
Who was your X-Men?
I mean, probably Wolverine, right?
Wolverine, yeah. I mean, he's a
Bright
pretty
color.
easy pick. Gambit was mine for whatever reason.
Nice.
Also an easy pick though, right?
Yeah. He's fun.
First you charge the card, then you blow it up. Let's see. Also at my friend Chris's house, I remember playing a lot of Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Okay.
I remember he was really good at it. He could get like past Soda Popinski. And maybe even
Mr. Dream or
not,
Sandman.
maybe
Was that for
Sandman.
that?
Maybe he could get I think he could get to the end. I was doing really good to get past King Hippo.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So,
I assume you watched him play, so you should have known, I guess, how to attack him, right?
yeah, I think I don't think I
execute it?
was I don't think I was studying it. So I think I was more of an observer as opposed to studying exactly what he was doing.
Gotcha.
Now as an adult, I've beat that game several times.
I haven't beaten it straight up.
But
Like
as
I
a
beat it with cheats,
oh no,
but I
come on.
can't beat Mike Tyson.
No, you can. You can. There
I
is
have
a
to
way.
I have to train.
You have to train. Yeah. Show me your thumbs, Russ.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, great game. Loved playing it at Chris's house all the time.
Nice. I do have a memory. I don't know whose house it was. It was some kid had to be middle school, maybe even grammar school. I remember going over his house and he had Double Dragon.
Ooh, good game.
And I was like, never seen this one before. And I was like, this is pretty cool, like fighter style game. Because I was used to Mario as like a platformer where I played, like you said, shooters or whatever. And I hadn't seen Double Dragon before.
I used to play Double Dragon at my buddy Mark's house, Mark Abercrombie, one of my best friend of all time.
Nice. And the only downside of it is you can't play 2-player at the same time. It's you play until you die and then player 2 picks up. Not until Double Dragon 2 they had it.
Which one had the mode where you could fight each other? Was that 2?
I think 1 also had it. Yeah, so it had mode like 1-player, 2-player, and then I think the fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way you can play 2-player at the same time, where you would fight each other like Street Fighter style.
You can't play 2-player on Double Dragon 1?
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly. I don't think you could do 2-player on the first one.
Huh. Why does my memory is not serving me well then? I'm gonna Google this.
Google it up.
I'm gonna YouTube it actually.
Double Dragon 2-player at the same time.
And
I did just beat what was the one that they had Double Dragon 4, I think, just come out on new systems. Not recently, but it was pretty good. There is a new Double Dragon. What the heck is it called? Double Dragon Gaiden that just came out like a month or so ago, which I haven't picked up yet. but I'm sure it'll be a good time for sure.
Maybe we were playing Double Dragon 2 then, Russ, because I think you're right. I think Double Dragon
You
1's
remember playing together at the same time.
Yeah. But I feel like I remember I don't know.
Yeah, they missed. I don't know why they couldn't program it like that, but they missed the ball. But hey, came out with a sequel, and then we're all happy.
Amazing game. Love Double Dragon. Um, Another game I remember playing at my friend's house. I didn't have the power pad, but my buddy Chris, the same guy I've been talking about this whole time, he had the power pad. And I remember we were in his like older sister's room and we had it laid out on the floor and we were like banging on it with our hands and going nuts. But yeah,
Cheating, just
it
hit the power
was
pad.
it was so rad because like so many of my friends had like so many more games than I had. So it was
Yeah,
really neat to experience some of that at
well,
their house.
that's a new peripheral. Like, okay, like, whoa, I've seen the commercials. Like,
Yep,
get track and field. They're
that's
like, can you
right.
play other games with it? Like, can we play Mario on it?
Yeah, I think we were just trying to run as fast as we could.
And you just thought, okay, if we just hit it with our hands,
I'm
that's how.
sure we did. I'm positive we were banging on it with our hands.
Nice power pad. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got one somewhere. I haven't played it in probably 30 years.
yeah, yep. Mine's folded up over there.
It'd be nice to break it out for sure. That's funny because we did talk about the zapper gun last episode.
Yep.
Now we're bringing it full circle with the power pad.
Did you have any buddies that had a power glove?
I don't think I did. No, I don't remember seeing it at anyone's house that I went to. I think
I'm
the only
I'm
time I
almost
seen it was at a game store.
I'm positive my buddy McEwen Rampy. I like dropping people's names in case you didn't notice. My memory is like a steel trap. Uh McEwen Rampy, I'm sure he had the power glove. I remember seeing it over there, but like it was just like we couldn't get it to work ever.
Right. I mean, it was rushed out, essentially unfinished, and they had to try to keep the cost down, so they couldn't put as much as they wanted into it, like technology wise. So it's like, all right, just hang these three sensors up, plug that in, and then you should be able to maneuver stuff.
I have a really cool it says the Power Glove Challenge. You must follow these steps. 1, must enter the program number. Example, blah, 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 blah. 2, you must calibrate after entering the program. Tuck your thumb into your fingers and squeeze. Do it several times. 3, must center. Push center to center your glove. Do it often. 4, must read your instructions carefully. I mean, that sounds like so convoluted. You
Let's
know.
get this baby on.
Where's mine at? I want to wear them simultaneously.
If you guys watched my short horror movie, I did have the demon in it wear the power glove, which was tough because we had like fake monster hands that we had to put through the glove and do. But that looks pretty good with the Ninja Gaiden tattoo right up on there. Almost lines up perfectly on there. It's so bad. Jay's got his on.
We're gonna be Power Glove Bros.
People are going to be a little bit upset. I did cut the cord on mine.
Oh, you're a loser, bro.
I tried it one last time and I was like,
Why did
this
you
thing
do that?
stinks. I'm just going to cut the cord. I actually have like a nick from like the Dremel on it. I think that I used to cut didn't want to use scissors apparently.
I just roll mine up and keep it in the glove itself.
See, I didn't know. I guess I'll have to buy another one.
Wait, I'm showing to the wrong camera. Look at this, Power Glove Brothers. It's so bad.
Now it's supposed to have a white glove with it, right?
A white glove?
Yeah, like Michael Jackson. I think mine had a white glove that you put on.
Oh, underneath it.
Underneath it, and then you put your glove.
Oh, maybe you're right.
So, funny enough, I just ordered a mannequin hand. Someone had left a comment. I did a video on my YouTube channel making a shifter with a N64 controller, and someone said I should use a power glove. So I ordered a wooden mannequin hand that I'm going to put like the adapter nut to that I can screw down and then put the power glove over that. But I was like, oh, I got to order a white glove too to put it over.
That's funny. Yeah, Russ, let me teach you. Let me teach you the ways. You take it, you roll it up, you run it up under the thing like that.
For display purposes here.
Yeah, this is for
Yeah,
display
then you-
purposes. And let me show you the final step. You actually store it right
Up
in
under the
here.
glove. Oh, okay. And when
And
that
then,
closes,
see?
ta-da!
You cut yours for no reason, you loser.
Maybe,
Blast.
maybe I could solder it back together.
Maybe you can buy a new one.
I guess so. Who
That's
knows
good.
how much they are now?
I
Jeez.
know, right?
You want to jump into some comments? See what the people are saying?
Yeah, let's see what the people of Springfield have to say.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
All right, let's jump over to Instagram at the Weekly Warp Pipe. We got a couple people here. We got Retroholic16.
Always coming in with the hot comments.
Growing up, I only ever had Nintendo consoles, but my friend down the street had the Genesis, and I used to love going over there and playing General Chaos and Sonic. And for some reason, NBA Jam seemed edgy in the Genesis. LOL. Then in middle school, I had a buddy who worked all summer long and bought the Dreamcast on launch day.
Wow.
Some games. And several of us used to always go over on the weekends and play that since we all had the N64.
Was that $99.99? Am I remember that correctly?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The promotion on that.
Yeah.
$99.99.
Oh, somebody's frozen. No, they're not allowed.
Scruffy. We got Resident Evil and a lot of wrestling games. I wasn't allowed to have either in our house. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting games too. I definitely wasn't allowed. My family was super religious when I was younger. Well, Jake can chime in on that.
My dad was a Baptist preacher, but he bought me Mortal Kombat 2 for the Game Gear himself. Maybe he just didn't know, or maybe he's like me and just didn't care. Go ahead, son. Watch Five Nights at Freddy's. Go ahead, son. Play Mortal Kombat.
Use the blood code here. I downloaded it for you.
212 down up.
All right, Gingerbread the Gaming Dad.
What a name.
Zelda, Super Mario, and Kid Icarus are some that he played at friends' houses.
That's ginger beard, not bread.
Why did I say bread? I'm thinking of Christmas stuff.
You're dreaming of a white Christmas.
I apologize. Yeah, those are good ones for sure to play over a friend's house. Kid Icarus, I don't think I ever played that one growing up.
Yeah, I don't
The first
know.
time I played it was 3DS when they had it offered on there. You could get some of the games.
I remember I was so amped to get it for my NES collection, and I want to like it so much. I think the problem is that I need to get good. I just think I'm bad at the game.
It certainly has a tough, difficulty curve in the beginning few levels.
I've seen Smash JT beat it, though. Shout out to him.
Fair enough. All right, we got the, what is this? The Titsy Gaming. I remember 2 games on the SNES that my friend had, which I would borrow from time to time. The first game had a fun mini game that I spent a lot of time playing, and the final boss was extremely difficult. That game, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh, what a classic.
I like how he left the mystery.
Yes.
The other game was a tactical game and turn-based, and my first exposure to RPG games, and it was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Yeah, I remember now going over my friend Sal's house and him playing probably Final Fantasy 3. And then eventually he got a copy of Mystic Quest, and I think I borrowed that from him because it was a little bit easier than the other Final Fantasy games. What we got? Stooge Guy. Ninja Turtles 2 for NES. 2-player action. That's a great one to go over a friend's house and play for sure. I dig it. And we got Raspberry 1993. I was very fortunate to have a best friend that would usually get most of the new releases. So I was able to try a lot of games that I grew to love. Our most memorable game that we played a lot was Super Smash Bros. For the N64. We spent countless hours playing against each other and the computers. We would take turns playing through the story modes with different characters on different level settings. I miss those days.
Me too.
Nice. Yeah, those are some good stories for sure.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles 2, that game I played at my buddy Mark's house all the time. Like, I think we played that probably more than we played anything. Like, we were always trying to get the shredder.
Well, certainly, 2 players at the same time makes it that much more fun. The couch co-op, if you will, instead of playing single player games. That's good too. Maybe going over there and seeing your friend play, maybe watching them, and then getting your turn. But to be able to play together,
Yeah.
certainly a different experience.
I remember when the PlayStation came out, Mark had that, and
Oh,
a
nice.
game that we played all the time was Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
played Twisted Metal like it was going out of style. Freaking loved it.
Certainly a good one. All right, what else we got? We'll jump over to YouTube on the community page. We got Mike chiming in. So many great memories. A lot of my friends at the time had different games from each other. Top ones for me were Pro Wrestling, Life Force, there you go, Batman, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Bionic Commando, DuckTales, and many more.
Dude, all these comments are making me remember games I played at Mark's house. So we definitely played pro wrestling. Absolutely. The Amazon dude and Starman.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
also definitely played DuckTales and Rescue Rangers at Mark's house.
Nice. Classics for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Baum had a friend who lived a couple houses away from me that I would often play NES games with. They rented games often. So I got to play things like Snake Rattle and Roll, Super C, Super Mario Brothers 3, and others.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely remember renting Snake Rattle and Roll, enjoying that game a lot. Never beat it, but had a good time with that one.
It reminds me a lot of Marble Madness. I think they're made by the same company.
Yes, they are. Colby, when I was a kid back in the 80s, 90s, when I went to a friend's house, it was definitely a huge bonus if they had games I didn't. My best friend Timmy D had Blaster Master and DuckTales for the NES. And I remember how much I enjoyed those 2 games immensely when I would go over. Same can be said for Super Mario Kart on Super NES. I didn't get it when it released right away, and he did, I think, for that Christmas. I remember playing it religiously at his house until I received my very own copy.
Nice.
The same can be said for other consoles I didn't have, which was always awesome as well because he had a TurboGrafx 16, and I
Wow.
had no experience with that until I went over. Balk's Adventure was always something I'd ask if we could play, as it was the only way we could. Am I reading that right?
The only way we could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Happy memories.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. I didn't know anybody as a kid that had TurboGrafx 16. The only knowledge I had of the TurboGrafx 16 was when I was getting ready to get my Super Nintendo. We got a wish book that year, and like from late September at my friend TJ's birthday party when he got his Super Nintendo. That was like the only thing I could think about, like at school, at home. How could I get the Super Nintendo? And um, at one point, I was like, "Ooh, maybe I should get the Genesis." And then in the wish book, I saw the TurboGrafx 16, and it was like, so if the Super NES was $139.99 and the
Mhm.
Genesis was $129.99, I think the TurboGrafx was like $99.99. So that not having to save up that extra $40
Right.
kind of like almost lured me in. Like maybe I should get the TurboGrafx. So anyway,
Yeah, well, only one of my friends had TurboGrafx, so I went over to his house, and he didn't have a whole ton of games, but I definitely remember playing the Keith. What is
Keith
it?
Courage.
Keith Courage.
What'd you think about it back then? Were you like, this is like a half rate system, or did you think it was
No,
cool?
yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought the graphics looked pretty good,
Yeah,
pretty bright,
yeah,
responsive. The controller was a little odd, but I was like, whatever. It's kind of like a
yeah.
hybrid between a Sega controller and a NES controller.
It's like the Master System controller. It feels okay, but something's off.
Right. We got one more comment. Nike 316, Mario Party, Super Mario Kart, Donkey Kong 64, and Super Smash Bros. Come to mind.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see Super Smash Bros. Being on a lot of people's lists because of it being that multiplayer game. So
Yeah.
it's like, are everyone in your friend group gonna get their own copy? No, but you
Right.
can go over Mark's house this day, Timmy's the next, or
That's
whatever.
right.
So, well, hopefully you have 4 controllers, or I guess one from home. That probably make the most sense.
Yeah. My buddy Brad, he always had Sega systems. So I remember playing Dreamcast at his house and playing like Crazy Taxi.
Mm-hmm.
And was it on the 32X or was it on Dreamcast with Tekken 2 and Tekken? What system was that on?
I'd say it's Dreamcast.
We played Tekken a lot.
Okay.
But on the Genesis, I remember playing like Captain America. I remember playing Road Rash. We played Troikman's
Yes.
football all the time because he was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. Streets of Rage, I played at my friend TJ's house.
Nice.
I have
Good
so
beat 'em
many
up.
memories of playing other games at other people's houses. At Mark, we played Battletoads all the time, 2 players. We couldn't get very far, obviously. Turbo Tunnel, probably. But man, I have so many memories of playing games at friends' houses.
Yeah. Again, mostly on my street, I have my memories. So right next to me was Rocker, and then next to him we had Ziggy was our neighbor, and he had Sega CD,
Oh, nice.
and I had never seen it before. So Sewer Shark, I'm like, what is this? It's so cool. Like you could see full motion video, kind of.
Yeah.
So we played that a bunch, and of course, Corpse Killer. And we didn't get very far in it, but I always was like intrigued on it. And sometimes you go over there and it's like their system, so you kind of just watch them play.
Right,
You're like,
yeah.
and hopefully maybe they'll let you play because then it was it's a group of us in the neighborhood all hanging at the house, so you can't be like, oh, I want to play. It's my turn. I want to play. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if he lets me, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm fine with just watching.
I remember my friend McEwen, the one who had the Power Glove. That's the first time I ever played any Mega Man games, and I think he had maybe Mega Man 1 and 2. So I remember playing that over at his house and being like, "Oh, this is so cool," but like, I just didn't have it, you know?
Right. A fun Mega Man story I have of going over my friend Joe's house. They would rent.
Toshibi?
No, not Joe Sheevy. Joe Kavanaugh's last name. We were playing. What was it? It had to be. It was a Mega Man game, but it was on CD based on PlayStation. So 7
Okay.
or 8. Oh, because what 7's on Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
So had to be Mega Man 8 or Mega Man X4 or whatever was on there. We realized so they had to return the video or the game to Blockbuster. If you hit open and take the disc out, the game will still run as long as it doesn't have to load a new screen.
Oh, right, you could play that one level, right?
So we're just like farting around on that. It's like, I got to take it back to Blockbuster. We're going to have more late fees.
That's
But I
so
remember
funny.
going over there. Yeah.
So, remember when, like, Street Fighter 2 came out and that was, like, all the rage and all the Mortal Kombat games?
Mm-hmm.
So, until I got Mortal Kombat, I guess, 1 for the Game Gear, I didn't have any of those games, but my buddy Mark had them. So, we'd play Street Fighter all the time. You know, we would always be like Ken and Ryu. Um, Man, he'd always beat me, though, every time. He was Guile a lot,
Well,
okay?
I'm like, well, it's his game, right? He's got more
Yeah,
practice than on it.
and Guile had that trip where he, like, trips and then he, like, trips further almost.
Oh, yeah, where he like spins
It's
and then
like
his
a
leg kind of.
2 move, it's like a 2 spin, like, trip kick, and he would always do that, and then, like, he would do, like, the lightning kick and, like, destroy me. But, like, I remember getting beat on that, and then, I remember all the hype behind Mortal Kombat 2 with, like, Reptile
Mm-hmm.
and, like, the secret you uppercut them on the one level and they fall down into the pit, you know?
Oh, yeah. definitely cool. And it's with those games, I have memories of going to like the convenience store that had the arcade games at
Hmm.
and seeing those kids like play the arcade games and then being in the neighborhood and it's like, what? Like he's got Street Fighter at home?
Yeah, like that
Like,
really was like a
whoa.
mind-blowing kind of thing for the first time that like your friends have like these coveted games at their house. You could play them anytime. Like before then, the only time I could play it was like if we happened to go to Pizza Hut because Pizza Hut had the Mortal Kombat arcade there. So it was like we wanted to play it there, and then it came
Right.
out, and it was like, and then like the biggest jip was us Super Nintendo kids had no blood code.
Right. Right. For the Mortal Kombat. Yeah. They're
Yeah,
sweating.
yeah, but it was still rad. I mean, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Still happy to
Let's
have it.
let's see. We got some people I think on Facebook left us some comments as well. What we got here? Austin Mills. When I started going to friends' houses, N64 was the popular system. So we played a ton of Mario Party, Mario Kart, and GoldenEye pretty much anywhere we went. Whenever we would go to my cousin's house, we played WCW/NWO Revenge, Fighting Force 64, Rampage, and Winback.
Dude, GoldenEye used to piss me off so bad. Mark and Brad would wreck me on that game.
Yeah, the multiplayer.
I always felt like it didn't line up. I always felt like it was like, like on Halo, it's like pretty straight on, but like I felt like it
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, like you're on an angle.
yeah, I hated that.
And then Matthew Durkin. When I was very young, I would play Marble Madness, Double Dragon 2, TMNT 2 a lot with my cousin. When the SNES came out, my friends and I played a bunch of Super Mario Kart, Street Fighter 2, NBA Jam. The N64 was probably the last console that we all got together for some couch co-op. And I remember tons of Mario Kart 64, 1080 snowboarding,
Yeah,
some Star Fox 64 multiplayer, and an absolute huge amount of GoldenEye. Online play is convenient nowadays as an adult, but nothing will ever be as fun as sitting around with your buddies talking some gaming trash.
that's right.
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I said now are the days with couch co-op is non-existent. It's
No,
all about the online play for sure.
the closest thing I get to couch co-op is me and my son like tag team in like Luigi's Mansion. Like he's like, "Oh, I know what to do," and I'm like, "Oh, we're like switching the controller back and forth,
Right.
trying to
Well,
get through it."
we say last couch co-op we had. I think I was over your house.
Oh yeah, when I misled poor Aaron into killing himself on Super C.
Super C.
Sorry, Aaron.
But yeah, I certainly miss those days going to a friend's house and even watching them play video games and just hang out and chat,
Yeah,
discover some new games that you haven't played. I don't know if you can capture kind of that era was just way different how it is now where you don't have the internet. It was back then. So like seeing a TurboGrafx 16 at a friend's house, you're like, you didn't maybe you didn't get a magazine and didn't see it in there. You're like, what is this? Like I only knew of Super Nintendo. I've never heard of this. Like probably none of my friends would have had the Neo Geo, like going even more obscure. And you're like, what is this system? Just the
yeah,
main ones. And you're only seeing that in, the Sears catalogs or whatever, what they're pushing for the holiday season or Toys R Us. And I don't think Toys R Us carried any of those systems.
yeah. My neighbor and best friend in the late '80s, Amy McClyman. I have to say everybody's full name. I don't know why. In case they ever listen to it, they'll know who I'm talking about. Anyway, but she had borrowed her uncle's Master System, and I remember going to her house and playing
Mhm.
that in her bedroom, and she was like, "Yeah, come play the Sega. It's like a Nintendo." And I was like Sega, like what is this thing? This is so weird looking. And the Master System is a really strange looking system. It's like
Right.
rectangular and long and has like a triangle on it and all these weird lines leading to who knows what. And
Then the box art's is the same
yeah,
simple,
yeah.
like, graph paper.
What's funny is like I so I played that there at her house, but when the Genesis came out, like I don't think I ever put together that was like the predecessor of the Genesis.
Right, right. Yeah. I don't think I ever played a Master System at any of my friends' house. It was always the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And then I do remember one time going to one of my friends' houses, or it was one of my friend's house. I only went there once. It was some girl he knew, and she had the Sega Saturn, and we were playing Daytona, whatever it was, 500 or one of the racing games. And I was like, these graphics are crazy.
I know. Mind blowing.
Mind blowing, but I never got one.
It's funny. That's how I felt about like PlayStation when it first came out. And now you look at PlayStation and you're like, oh, this is pretty rough to look at.
Oh, the original one.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm waiting for, is PS5 gonna do PS1 backwards compatibility?
I don't know. Oh, you know, another one, another game I remember playing.
Okay.
And I feel like this was on the N64, but I don't know. But it was all those wrestling games like NWO Revenge, and I just remember playing like a ton of wrestling games at Mark and Brad's house too.
Yeah, and again, I feel like all those games make sense. Those are the games you want to play at friends' houses.
Yeah.
With everyone's mentioning wrestling games, Mario Party games,
Yep.
the Mario Kart games,
Yep.
Smash Brothers.
Yep.
All fun multiplayer games for sure.
That's right.
Days of the Couch Co-op. And probably people talking in school like, hey, we're all going to Mark's house on Friday, like Smash Brothers, like get it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like we never played Smash Bros. So.
Well, whatever. Pick your poison.
Yeah, you got it.
Call of Duty.
Halo.
Yep, Halo. Pretty good.
Yep.
I think that was everyone that commented. If you guys want to leave some comments for the topics, usually I'll post it on Mondays, and you can go follow us on our social medias over at the Weekly Warp Pipe on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube community page. And then give us a call. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know a topic you want us to cover. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us
How
know
good
your
we
favorite.
look. Do you want us to wear matching outfits again?
Comment on my tattoos.
Yep. Looking good. Those are sweet.
Did you seen the color with Link?
Yeah, I love it, dude. That Link
Yeah,
color is beautiful. That is the raddest tattoo I think I've ever seen.
It's a week old, so it's still healing, but
Looks awesome.
Yeah, give us a call, 949-682-9277. Leave us a message. Catch us every Saturday, 7 a.m. with new episodes, or you could check out Warp Pipe Wednesday as well. It's kind of more of the what are we doing during the week episode.
Go to your phone. Go to this little podcast thing right here. Right there. Looks like purple. Right at the bottom.
Yeah, if you're using the iTunes one.
Click that, and you can like you can even like see, there we are. Right there.
We're listed up there.
Yeah.
Well, you can leave a review on there too. I think we got a few reviews on Spotify.
Sweet. What are they saying about us, Russ?
Saying we're good. We're good. Good
for one thing they should be saying.
Any 1 stars will come for you now.
Right. Brick legs.
Sweet. Well, hey, we appreciate everyone listening, watching, however you consume the weekly Warp Pipe. And we'll be back again next week.
It's true.
As long as Jay's computer works.
Hey, I'm looking good this week. I don't know how I did it, but fingers crossed.
Fair enough. All right, guys. As always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun, bit by bit.